Good morning and welcome to this orientation session. I'm your holistic nutrition gal, Luca. There's a couple of reasons why I do these on the first or second of the month. It is number one, to give you an idea of what it is we're doing in the Good Food Network. So to give you a little bit of a behind the scenes look, I'm having troubles logging in because I'm not at home. And all of these codes and verification things drive me bananas. But we'll hopefully get that in place before I'm done today. Waiting for an email. But there's a couple of different reasons why I do this orientation call. So I'm going to go through what it is that we do in the network later on. But before you see what's in the network, you need to know if the network is for you. So a lot of what I do in this first session of the month is to give you a rundown of who would be well served, who needs the information that's in here. So I'll let you know that we've got lots to cover in today's session. So this is recorded, of course, for everybody who is in the Good Food Network, and the replay is offered to everybody, just so that you know what's going on behind the scenes. So, hello. I'm your little local Luca, and I've been a little bit more local lately for most of you. Hanging out in Canada for the last month, it's been glorious and wonderful to see family and friends and to go to some of my favorite eateries because that's always first on my priority list after I see my loved ones. It's how I roll. Me and the food, we go way back. Okay. What are we doing in the Good Food Network? We've got lots that we're covering, and we're always shifting things up every 2 months. And I like doing a focus because it gives me something to hone in on and then gives you a sense of who would be well served for these next 2 months in the content it is that I'm creating for the online community. Good Food Network. They're both subscription services. One is at Histamine Haven, one is with me solo. I'm talking about the solo stuff today, the Good Food Network. I get them mixed up sometimes. My fault, not yours. Okay, so in the Good Food Network, what do we do? Well, it's a meeting of people who are looking for the to-do work and looking after whatever it is the main topic is about. And over the month of May and into June, we're doing 2 full months on the liver. And we're doing it for a couple of reasons. If you look at traditional Chinese medicine, springtime, which is the season that's happening right now in the Northern Hemisphere, springtime is the perfect time to be doing a deep dive into the liver support work. If you look into the natural world and you see what's happening outside your windows, what is it that's going on? Well, you've got shoots coming up. You've got greens, the first very bitter greens that are starting to show up, and they're bitter especially because of the colder temperatures, and they're the first things to come up. So in my own backyard in Calgary, where we have renters right now, but I imagine what is coming up in the garden is the rhubarb. I've seen photographic evidence of people talking about the wee nubbins coming up. Rhubarb's coming up. So imagine rhubarb. What does rhubarb taste like? Oh, pucker. Yeah. Bitter flavors. What else? I've got sorrel starting to come up in my garden. It's a perennial green, very similar to spinach, but has a more lemony taste. Let me tell you, that green packs a punch. Chives are coming up. Green onions are probably coming up. So those are very strong and bitter type flavors. Spinach, if you've planted spinach, it's one of those early greens that would be coming up. In my parents' backyard, I'm starting where I am right now in Northern Ontario. I'm starting to see some of the haskaps just about to start. Haskap bushes, there are these berries, honeyberries, haskap berries. You can call them the same, both the same name. Those are starting to come in, and those will be ready before the end of June and are a very sour type of fruit and berry. So those are the flavors that are showing up in the outside world, in the Northern Hemisphere anyway, at this time of year. Well, what are those good for? Oh, the liver. Sour and bitter flavors are absolutely the best flavor to help wake up a liver. Dandelion greens, right? We're even talking about the forage stuff. Nettle is another one. There's a lot of foraged greens that are starting to pop up in the outside world. Well, what are those good for? As it turns out, the liver. So it makes absolute sense for us to be focusing in on the liver in the Good Food Network. There's another reason. This year, I've been kind of discovering this slowly and slowly over the last 4 years, that at the root of everything that is a health potential struggle in the body is metabolic work that is struggling. I used to think it was all about inflammation. But inflammation downregulates your metabolism. And if we can boost up your metabolism and get it to function a little bit better, now we're going to be working at reducing what's driving inflammation, what is driving histamine issues, what is driving so many of those symptoms that seem to pop up and crop up more and more as we get older. So, understanding that metabolic health is now, it's kind of everything that I do with my clients. I thought in 2025, it's going to be imperative from here on in to start supporting metabolic health. And there are some foundational pieces to metabolic health. While we will do 2 months on just metabolic health, we also need to do some work on some of those foundational pieces that help bolster our metabolic health. Because nothing is ever happening by itself in the body. There's always going to be a series of things that influence each other because you are a closed loop system. What happens in your endocrine system with any hormonal shifts is going to have an impact on so many other functions in the body. And so, when we are looking at metabolic health, we're going to be looking at some of those foundations over the course of 2025. What are those really important foundational pieces we need to look after in order to ensure robust metabolic health? That is everything that I do. The flip side of that is creating biochemical safety in the body. And that's everything that I do with my clients. So the liver, which is our topic of conversation for the next 2 months, is one of those foundational pieces it takes in order to support robust metabolic health. What does robust metabolic health look like? It looks like everything is working as it should. Your blood sugars are feeling well balanced. Your liver is able to do the work it is that she wants. Digestion's working well. Your brain functions, your cognitive function is working well. We're keeping those chronic diseases at bay as best as we can. Yeah, there may still be some around. Okay, but let's help mitigate those impacts and reduce what is driving some of those symptoms. Because that's what it is. When we support that robust metabolic health, we are setting up your inner furnace to function well. And when your inner furnace works well, you can set up everything in the body to work well so that things like invisible infections start to be less of an issue and our body can better handle it and get at it. Things like Lyme and Bartonella, some of those harder to find things, long COVID, what have you. But when we support robust metabolic health, our thyroid works better. Well, if you understand that your thyroid regulates your mood, your temperature, your energy output, your digestion, your whole hormonal function, if you are a bleeding person, a menstruating person, yeah, like the thyroid is kind of key to so many things. So when we support robust metabolic health, all of these things start to work better. As we support thyroid health, now histamine issues start to lessen. As we support thyroid health, now we take pressure off of our adrenals and we're not tuckered out and running on kindling. Yeah, so we're really just setting up a robust furnace so that you can be burning logs in your fire instead of kindling where you're constantly trying to throw things on it. And I'm here to help you build these things. So the network is where we do a lot of this work. When I first built the network, my intention was to have it as a place of reference for those who had been clients who had done one or more rounds with me as one-on-one. And we're now looking for the steady reminders of those to-do pieces that we talked about. And it was to help take people through seasonally, what are the things to focus on? I always do liver in the spring. I always do something tied to adrenals in the winter. And I'll often do something on the heart or the gut into the summer. And we sort of vacillate through those over the course of the year. And with good reason, all of those good, strong foundations ensure good metabolic work. So it was built with clients in mind. It doesn't mean you can only join us if you were a former client of mine. It is also the same information I share with clients one-on-one. So that means if getting in on a one-on-one basis is overwhelming or feels too big or feels out of your budget, the Good Food Network is where you come join us. I offer one live session a week with very good information that you can input into your life. There are 3 to-dos in each week's videos, and you get to choose one or more, as many as you wish. So you'll get lots of to-do homework by joining the Good Food Network. And when you join, there's extras involved. So we'll get to that later on in today's session so you can see all the extra pieces you get. But let's first dive into, how do you know if your liver is asking for help? This is the part of the video I like to get a little spectacular and dive into the top 10 ways. So what are the top 10 ways that we know that your body is asking for support when it comes to your liver? What are those top 10 signs that I see in my clients? And number 1, skin troubles. Yeah, if you have skin troubles, we're talking all kinds: eczema, acne. Why do I have acne if I'm moving through perimenopause? I didn't have it for 30 years and it's back. Yep, how's your liver? Yeah. What else? Rosacea, psoriasis. Oh, and I said eczema already. Rashes, hives, anything on the skin. See, your liver is one of your excreting organs. It gets rid of things and it moves out things once you're done using them. And if it cannot move it out in a good fashion, it's going to move to a secondary route of elimination, which is your skin. And so we often see issues on the skin. It doesn't mean you're broken. It means your body needs to move something out. And the skin appears to be a very useful organ in moving things out. So number 1 is skin. What is item number 2? Nausea or vomiting. Yeah. Those are really clear indicators that there is something troublesome at the liver level and sometimes the gallbladder level as well. And so these, when I have clients that present with nausea or vomiting as some of their primary symptoms, this is where I go, okay, we need to support the liver. Number 3, bloating. Yeah. Bloating is a really big telltale sign that there is potentially something going on with the liver as it pertains to digestion, usually. Sometimes microbiome related, but very often digestion related. Yeah, your liver is part digestive system. Number 4, food sensitivities. If your list of foods you cannot tolerate tends to get longer and longer, that is one of the ways your liver is asking for help. And that's what I like to do. I like to help you decipher what are the signals that your body is sending and what is it that they're asking for. Well, I'll tell you, food sensitivities tells us liver needs help. Number 5, this is a big one. Number 5 is thyroid troubles. Yeah. And anything that could fall under those symptoms we associate with the thyroid. Is it on here? Yeah, one of the big ones is on there, so I'll wait for that one. But thyroid troubles would be anybody who has a hard time, in particular, converting T4 to T3. That is, in particular, a very big issue at the liver level. So for anybody struggling with a diagnosis, or if you look at the numbers when you get your testing done for your thyroid and you happen to be at the lower end of things, that is a call to support the liver. Yeah. Your thyroid and your liver are best friends. Number 6, brain fog or fatigue. Both of these, to me, have very similar biochemistry behind them. And while some people will think brain fog, I can't get to the answers and I'm trying to piece together and it's taking me longer to put things together where you used to be very quick and able. Yeah. When that brain fog shows up, oh, hi, how's your liver? Having a hard time. And the fatigue piece, both of them have the potential of having something called mitochondria issues at the core. And mitochondria issues are often an indicator that the liver has been struggling for a very long time at this point. So anybody who presents with either fatigue or brain fog, in my client notes, as we're doing our discussions, I will put down liver support. We need to offer some liver support there. Number 7, This is how I know I have liver issues. I totally have liver issues. Yeah, so I'm with you. Number 7, hard time handling carbohydrates. I have a very hard time handling carbohydrates. In fact, I'm sure that if I went to get some testing, they would say, oh, you have fatty liver disease. Yeah. Do you know that fatty liver disease is your body's way of protecting your liver from the hard times you're having digesting carbohydrates? It has nothing to do with fats. Your body is laying down fat in the liver to help protect it. Fat is a protector. Fat has always been your friend. Are we tired of the whole weight loss thing? Thank you, body, for protecting me. I'm a soft and very voluptuous lady. I'm gonna make friends with the protecting. But yeah, hard time tolerating carbohydrates. So one of the ways that I'll see this is anybody, I had a client yesterday actually. It's very interesting. He says, yeah, right after I have high carb meals, like with grains, I need to crash and go to bed. I need a nap after meals where I had oatmeal, for example, or rice or pasta. If that's you, oh hi, how's your liver doing? Or for some, I've also seen it this way where when clients have higher carbohydrate meals where it's carbohydrates from grains more, or refined carbohydrates like toast or pastries or rice or pasta, because that's a very quick source of carbohydrates to the system. When they eat those foods, their heart tends to race after a meal. That's another way I see it. Or if you're somebody who's like, oh my God, my blood sugars are all over and I can't eat, I need to go low carb. Yeah, you feel great for 4 weeks and then you feel like caca. You didn't fix the issue. You actually made it worse. Sorry. I can't just leave it there, can I? Yes, I will. Too bad. Number 8. This is a big one. Number 8. Cholesterol numbers are rising. That's a thyroid issue, as a matter of fact. So if your cholesterol numbers are rising, it is a protective detail from the body. So I don't think it's inherently wrong for the body to have rising cholesterol numbers, but it does tell us that your body perceives it needs to build a protective detail. You can think of cholesterol as your body's Band-Aids. And as your cholesterol numbers rise, why are you having to make so many Band-Aids? That's actually the question. I don't want you to stop making Band-Aids if you need them. But how about we work at actually reducing the need to have so many Band-Aids? Yeah. Number 9, histamine issues. Bing, 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 bing. Histamine issues are a massive, massive telltale sign that the liver has had a hard, long list to do for a very long time, and she needs help. So histamine issues, the reason is, about 80% of my clientele has histamine issues, and maybe even more, but I just see histamine as a symptom and just another indicator of something else not working well. It happens to be my specialty, but just because I have them myself. But histamine issues that are ramping up as we get older are an indicator that the liver is having a harder and a harder and a harder time. Part of that is because, so histamine in the body, we make it, we use it, we need it, you will eat it. But when you're done with the histamine molecule, you're supposed to break it down and move it out. And you break it down and move it out in 2 spots. Well, a bit more than 2 spots, but predominantly, the majority of it is moved out in 2 spots. Number 1 at the gut with an enzyme called DAO. Number 2 at the liver level with an enzyme called HNMT, histamine N-methyltransferase. Who cares? I don't. Well, I sort of do, but yay, body, you're the best. Only because of that. So when there is a histamine issue in a client or a human, well, part of what's happening is you're not able to move out those spent histamine as quickly as possible or as quickly as you need to. So one of the troubles with histamine is when you've got symptoms showing up, could it be perhaps because you can't break down the extra histamine in your system? Well, then that means there's a problem at the liver level making one of those enzymes, HNMT. And often that is tied to methylation issues. Okay, whatever. I could get so technical. Who cares? Number 9, histamine issues. That was me. Number 10, hot flashes or night sweats. Those are the top 10 ways that when I'm seeing clients one-on-one, those are the most common ones that I see in my clientele. And I tend to serve those who are between 40 and 60 and everywhere in between, all genders and all orientations and all good people. So those are the main ones. Now, I got a little something I want to show you. I got a little bit more. So for you to understand a little bit more of what's going on in the Good Food Network, we'll come back to these top 10 symptoms and we're going to add to those in a little bit more. Why I want to highlight this, if you said yes to any of these top 10, I'm going to tell you that you would very much benefit from joining us in the Good Food Network. I didn't even say fatty liver disease. Oh, that's dumb. That should be one of the 10. That is an obvious fatty liver disease and gallbladder issues. Okay, let me add that in. Now there's a bonus one that I want to draw your attention to. Yeah, I can't believe I didn't put this in my notes. Two bonus ones, as a matter of fact. How do you know what are the top 10 ways that I see in my clients, those symptoms that tell us your liver needs help? Number 11 and 12 should have been number 1 and 2. Fatty liver disease, whether it is non-alcoholic or alcoholic fatty liver disease, and gallbladder issues, obviously, for obvious reasons. Now, those are the top 12. What else do we have? Okay, we'll come back to those in just a second. I want to take you through for a little bit of what it is we do in the Good Food Network so that you can understand what it is you'd be getting yourself into. It's going to be good, don't worry. Da, 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 da. All right. I like to make a little presentation because it makes it really nice to look at. Yeah. So, and apparently I'm all of a sudden from Ireland. So in this month of May and into June, we're actually doing 2 full months on the liver. So your liver does way more than just detoxifying and filtering out toxins. Let's talk about why it deserves some love. When your liver is sluggish, you will feel it. You'll feel fatigue, you'll feel potentially some brain fog, potentially stubborn weight, skin issues, bloating, histamine issues, autoimmune flares. These are all things I've already mentioned. Even tougher symptoms through perimenopause and menopause. These are all signs that your liver is having a hard time keeping up. So when your liver is thriving, you will thrive. It is one of those foundational pieces we need for so much metabolic health. And supporting your liver, it's not just about detox. Detox to me is like your liver's detoxifying all the time. It's not that she doesn't want to, it's that she's tired of it. So when we say, oh, good, it's time to detox. Oh, for fart's sake, your liver's been detoxifying the whole time. Can we just nourish your body instead? Could we stop this war talk? We are ending an era of war and we are moving into a brand new era of much better love and kindness, I think. I see it in the kids around me. God, guys, it's coming. Part of that transition into the new world, I think, is about ending the war talk. And I'm here to tell you we are going to end the war talk with a detox. We're not punishing your liver. We're not getting her to work even harder. We're only going to support your liver because when you support your liver, you ease up on the detoxification and there's a lot less she has to do. You also, when we nourish the liver properly, now we're supporting better energy, balanced hormones. We are reducing inflammation. We're reducing some of the body's burden of stress, as a matter of fact. So in the network, the work we're doing is going to be how to make that happen. So we're going to start here with who can benefit from supporting the liver. And again, if you find yourself saying yes to any of these, you are going to want to join us in the Good Food Network. You will gain good information and solid, concrete to-do work to get you supporting your liver. So let's see how many of these check marks you will say yes to. Do you feel wired but exhausted? You can't sleep, you're also drained. Do you have hot flashes and night sweats? Mood swings, anxiety, feeling low, worries, brain fog, difficulty concentrating? Do you have digestive issues? Any of those listed here? Do you have a hard time managing stress? You feel overwhelmed? Hello, menopause. Do you have skin changes or unexplained weight changes? Do you have joint or muscle aches? What about fatigue that's not going away? Your cholesterol is rising. Histamine symptoms showing up more frequently. You have increased cravings. Do you have blood sugar fluctuations or energy crashes? Liver or gallbladder? Fatty liver disease? Headaches or migraines? What about brain fog, trouble focusing or motivation? Trouble with hormone balance, that's a very big one. The liver is a big part to play in that. Anxiety or irritability when you didn't feel it before and your immune system always working. Do you have a history of viruses? Your liver is actually the first place of contact when there's when there's a virus in the body. And it's the liver that mounts the immune system response to everything in the body. So if you have a history of viruses, anything like Epstein-Barr, that's the kissing disease, mononucleosis, Lyme disease, Bartonella, there's a lot more in that whole section. SIBO, food poisoning is another one. COVID, have you struggled through long COVID? So how many of these, take a glance at these, and how many of these do you say yes to? Some of them are the top 10 that I mentioned, but there's more in here. But do you see yourself in any of these? If you say yes to any of the following, I'm going to tell you, pal, you would do well to join us in the Good Food Network. I'm just saying. If and only if you're ready to implement some of those ideas and you're like, no, I'm ready. I am, okay, let's pick one. So let's say you have mood swings, anxiety, and you feel low. You have worries, you have a lot of worries. You have a hard time managing stress, you're easily overwhelmed. Those two very much go hand in hand. Okay, because I feel those, especially through this perimenopause transition, I can feel that rising a little bit. Okay, well, I say yes to those. Well, how would it be? How different would your life be without those worries in place? You can imagine that. And in order for that to reduce and have as big of an impact on your day-to-day life, there are some things you can do absolutely with food and lifestyle ideas. And those to-do pieces are what we're talking about in the network. And in the network, you're soon going to see you get a cheat sheet, a worksheet that you can fill out. And on that worksheet, you start to jot down what are those symptoms you feel and what is the work to do in order to address these? What is it that you have within your own power to shift and do in your day-to-day life so that you can reduce the incidence of, for example, those mood swings, the worries, the increased worries, or the feeling overwhelmed easily? What are the pieces you can put in place for that? Those are the solutions we talk about. The to-do work, your day-to-day stuff. That's what we do in the Good Food Network. Do you want those solutions? You better come join us. Okay, let's keep going. So when the liver is struggling, here's a little bit about what's happening beneath the surface. So when your liver is struggling, so do your metabolism and your blood sugar. So when the liver's having a hard time, this is one of the pieces that is deeply affected, your metabolism, your blood sugar regulation. That shows up as energy crashes, puffiness and bloating. You get cravings, sometimes for salty things. That'll tell us a bit more of what needs support. Sometimes for sweet things. That'll tell us yet something else. One is more thyroid and one is more adrenals. Yeah. One tells us at which point and how deeply in you are. The other one tells us how much more deep you are into it. Yeah. When your liver struggles, so do hormones, and potentially now impacting menopause, transition through perimenopause, and postmenopausal. So here you may feel there are hot flashes ramping up. These are the symptoms: mood swings, poor sleep, brain fog. Those are some of those symptoms. I'll add to that hormones in menopause, anything related to thyroid. And your thyroid regulates your mood, regulates your metabolism, regulates your energy. Do you struggle with fatigue? Oh, hi. Do you struggle with mood things? Hi. Yeah, I'm in your camp too. Yeah, there's a lot we can do. Brain and mood. These also struggle when the liver's struggling. Do you see how connected you are? So what does this look like? Well, brain fog. So we talked about this already. Low focus. You have a hard time. Brain fog is real. Motivation is hard. More anxiety, more irritability. And if your liver's struggling, so does your digestion. What are those symptoms that show up? Well, bloating, Constipation is a huge one. Food sensitivities. Is your list of foods that trigger symptoms getting longer and longer? Well, you can't just take the foods that offend out, pal. You need to include the foods that do repair. Yeah. When your liver is struggling, what else is struggling? Your histamine issues start to flare up and your immune system starts to become a little bit embattled. It's got a lot more to do. So this can show up as skin flares, headaches, sinus issues, itchy skin, eczema. What else is histamine? What is not histamine? Tinnitus, trigeminal neuralgia, diarrhea, PMS, PMDD, endometriosis, migraines. Oh, like there's so many. Anxiety actually is a histamine thing. Yeah. Everything is a histamine thing. And last but not least, when your liver struggles, so does your energy. That's the whole metabolic work in the body. Because metabolism is about the energy output and something in the system of taking in foods, churning it into the ingredients you need to do energy, to do a human thing. All of that cycle is your metabolism. So when the liver is struggling, your energy work in the body is struggling. So this shows up as fatigue. It shows up as sluggish mornings, hitting snooze for 7 times before you'll get out of bed, having a reliance on caffeine, or feeling the need you cannot get through the day without a nap, those kinds of things. So how many of these do you struggle with? Now, if you're going to join us in the Good Food Network, why don't you start with this? Jot these down of which of these are true to you, which ones you struggle with, because when you get into the network, you're going to put them in your worksheet, and I'll show you where to put that exactly. This helps you know what it is you're working on so that as you implement the ideas, these are the symptoms that are going to shift. Just so you're paying attention, so you're a willing participant. Ugh, I got bitten by a mosquito and I keep scratching it. Oops. So in the network, what is it that we're going to be doing? How do we support your liver's work? Well, instead of pushing through and focusing on punishing detoxes, we're going to shift because in the network, we are all about love and kindness to the body, for fart's sake. We're going to shift into support mode. So some of the things we're going to be doing in the network this month and into June, we're going to work at lightening the liver's load. So we're going to be talking about reducing toxins. We're going to be talking about going to whole foods and reducing processed foods and some of those things that can add an extra burden on your liver. We are also going to be diving deep. We have a whole session on how the liver is involved in blood sugar balancing and what it's going to take to get through that work. So when we look at balancing our blood sugars, you will have a more steady energy, fewer crashes, and less inflammation. When we look at support mode, if in order to support the liver, we come at it through also supporting hormone work and detox. We actually did a session on that yesterday. And when you join us in the network, you get access to the replay. So you haven't missed anything yet. Yeah. So when, in order to support your liver, one of the aspects we do is to support that hormone work and detox. And when we come at it from that angle, now we ease menopause symptoms. Now we have those tools to help us support better metabolism. Now we have those tools to support mood swings and to reduce those skin issues. There's another piece we're going to be talking about this month. We will be supporting and strengthening digestion. And when we do this, it ends up taking some of the pressure off of your liver. And when we improve digestion, we're going to be reducing the incidence of bloating. We're going to be supporting gut health, which now makes it better for you to absorb more of the nutrients it is you need and better ability to digest, taking some of the pressure off of the liver. We're also going to be reducing the histamine overload. We've got a full session on histamines, as a matter of fact. We're going to be calming flare-ups, headaches, and immune responses, all through supporting the liver through the lens of histamine issues. So this is just to give you a sampling of what it is that we cover in the Good Food Network. That's a load of things. We do a lot in the network. It's not for the faint of heart. So when you join us, where do we recommend that you start? Where do I recommend? It's royal we, Luca, it's me. Yeah. I'm going to say join the live conversations. We do one every week. It's called the Food is Medicine Sessions. We do them every Thursday morning, 7 a.m. Alberta time. And I'll tell you, you can join us because I turn off cameras and microphones. So you could be at work. We have a gal who joins us from work. We have another gal who joins us from her living room. Wherever you are, you could be eating your breakfast and having me chit chat in the background. And it's a half-hour session every Thursday morning. And if you can't join us live, you can catch the replay. That's where the juiciest part of the network is. We also have a live class every month. So this month's class is going to be SOS fatty liver, as a matter of fact. How to start, where you're going to check the schedule module to see what is happening when, because you will soon see in the network, there's a combination of live stuff and pre-recorded stuff, and then some printing stuff. So use your schedule to see what is happening and when. I've got mine printed up already. I'll show you where to find that. You're also going to be wanting to use your monthly checklist. I'm going to show you where that is. When you use this checklist, it's going to make sure that you are tuning into what is most relevant for you without the overwhelm, because that's a part of the secret. Yeah, network is a bit overwhelming when you first join, but only because I told you it's overwhelming. And right now we keep telling everyone that everything is overwhelming. It's actually not overwhelming once you're in, because you get to say yes to what it is you want, and you get to say no to what it is you don't want. And in fact, I help you develop that muscle. I'll show you how. Last but not least, where do you start? We also have a full class Vitality Liver. This is a full, deep appreciation on how the liver works and the biochemistry of it all and everything that your liver does. So in this, I think it's 2.5, almost 3 hours. So in this class, we help ease the load rather than ask of her yet another punishing detox. So it's all about supporting and loving up your liver from the inside out. You got lots of things to access, and you don't need to access everything. That is the cardinal rule in the Good Food Network. Take only what you need and leave what you don't. Your goal is to support, not stress. And you cannot wait for somebody else to tell you what to do and what not to do and to simplify it for you. You actually need to step into that and go, I'm only taking the weekly Thursday sessions, Luca. That's all I want. I don't want the rest of it. Oh, excellent. You get a high five from me. If you are still coming in going, I gotta access everything. Oh my God. Oh my God. And if you access it that way, then you won't access anything because you'll be overwhelmed. So your first work when you join the network is to take this on. Take only what you need and leave what you don't need. Your goal is going to be to aim for support and not stress. Okay. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Hi again. So those are a little bit of what it is we do in the network. I thought for the next part of our session that I would take you for a deep dive into the behind the scenes work of what it looks like in the network. But give me 1 minute because it wasn't letting me log in earlier. Let's see, is it in here? No. It's not letting me access it because I'm not at my home. Okay, we're going to have to do it a different way. Let's start again. Okay, you're going to see it from the builder's end, which is not usually how I like to do it because it's going to be a little bit more confusing. And I've already gone and started building what it is that I'm doing next month. Oh, just a second. Okay, so you're going to see it from the builder's end. So apologies, this is what happens when you travel and you have to do 2-step verification codes on everything and nothing happens as it should. And it's maddening. Welcome. Welcome to my world. So here we are in the Good Food Network. Once you get in, I will tell you, you're able to get at it when you get on your home screen. You will be able to get in just from that home screen. Once you log in, it's hosted on a website called Practice Better, and I call it the Hub. So once you get into the Hub, as soon as you join, you get an invitation to start your password so you can create your account. That just allows you to get into it. And once you log in, you look for programs because the network is a program. And under programs, you'll find GF Network, Good Food Network. So you've got a few different things. You're going to see some that are yellow here in draft. Those are the ones for June. I've already started building June. It takes me about a month to build this, just because I do it so piecemeal here and there. But once you join in, you've got these modules, and each module has something to offer. And you've got them in different sections. So here you've got the Start Here section. You've got the pre-recorded content. You've got the live sessions. And you've got the written content. These are all the different parts that you'll be able to access, not the ones in draft. You can't see them on your end. It's why I have them in draft. But this is what you're going to be able to access once you join us in the network. So I always say when you start with Start Here. I did it on purpose. So here you'll be able to access, usually you can just click on the module and it should show you. It's a little bit different in the builder's end. But when you click on the module, you'll get in here. There's a video to give you a tutorial on how to access all of the different parts. And then we've got more information down here. This will tell you everything you need to know about the Good Food Network and what all of the potential sessions are if you need to refer back to these. So all of this is easily accessible through here. And this is in the Get Start or Start Here module. Now, where you actually, once you've got your way around and you know your way around, you're going to start with your schedule and checklist. So I'm going to show you what it looks like right now. So you've got 3 parts here. You've got a whole calendar. I've got my printed version here in front of me. This is what are the live sessions. So download and print this month's calendar. So these are the ones that are tied to a certain time. These are your live sessions. Every live session has a replay, so you don't have to worry about it. But these live sessions, these are all the different ones we're going to be having. And we've got 5 Thursday morning sessions in the month of May. So we've got the first one we did yesterday, liver and hormones, the detox dance. Then we've got liver and microbes, the gut-liver axis. On the 3rd week, we're talking about bitters and sours and ways to wake up your liver. That is absolutely in tandem with the spring. Week 4, we talk about stress and the liver connection. That's going to be tying into the immune system a little bit more and histamine. And then the 5th week, we are talking about liver and sleep, the nighttime repair crew. So those are our live sessions on Thursday morning. Now you'll find another standalone session here. We always do 1 live session each month. And this month it's going to be SOS fatty liver. So for anybody who has fatty liver disease, this is going to be a full 2-hour class for you that you can access as well. Now, this is the checklist I was talking about. So you can download and print these. Wherever it says download, you download to your computer and then you go print from your downloads folder. I really recommend you print this up as one of your first tasks because this is how you're going to simplify things and really clarify what is your personal to-do. Go through this list, scratch out what it is you don't want to do, and leave just the ones you want to do. So I really think these Thursday morning sessions, the food is medicine classes on Thursday mornings, are the biggest part of the network and the ones where we can really focus in on different aspects. Prioritize those. And if that's all you have time for, a half an hour a week, scratch everything else out. Scratch it out. Ah, yeah. Or if you also want recipes, then leave that open so you can do it. But what I recommend you do with this checklist is you start by scratching off what it is you're not going to look at. So for example, there's a whole cooking class you'll see in a minute. If you're like, I don't want to do a cooking class, oh, scratch it out, pal. I don't care. I'm doing it as a bonus there for those who are like, I want access to those cooking classes. That's why I joined. Oh, well, all right then. Why don't you come and you do the foods that fuel? It's all real food. It's all scratch cooking. Learning how to scratch cook. There's always a cooking class per month. I've got a whole batch prep module. If you're like, I don't want to learn how to batch prep, Luca. Okay, don't. I don't care. Oh, do you need some help with batch prepping? Oh, is that a piece that you've been wanting to access? Okay, why don't you join us and just do the batch prep module? That module by itself is $99. It's in the network for $35 where you get everything. You can switch it up month to month and only take one piece and never run out of things to go into. Yeah, I know. You're welcome. We live in a time of abundance. And there's lots of different things. So scratch out first. And then next, the pieces that you do want to do, use the space on the left here to prioritize the order in which you're going to want to attend it. So for example, we've got recipes each month. Well, that's an easy one. Why don't you put number 1 there? And then once you've done it, check mark. Oh yeah, easy, and so on and so forth. So you've got each and every little piece of the network that you'd be able to get to. You have a to-do piece on this checklist. Scratch out the ones you don't want, prioritize and put in order the ones you want, and then get to it. Don't forget to get to what it is you want to get to. That's also part of the work. Last but not least, you also have a worksheet in here. And your worksheet is very utilitarian. I'm sorry, it's not very sexy, but whatevs. You're going to have the topic and the month up here. Each worksheet every month is the same thing. You're going to write down your main goals for this month. So, for example, when I was going through the top 10 reasons that you may want to support your liver, some of those top symptoms. So we had the nausea and vomiting, the skin troubles, the thyroid troubles, fatigue, brain fog. Whatever it is that you said yes to, you're going to jot them down in here. And it's because those are the symptoms you want to address. Also, as you implement the action items we're going to go through, now you're going to see those symptoms shift. So I have histamine issues. So I'm going to write histamine issues, migraines, eczema, itchy skin. That is what I expect is going to shift as I implement the to-do work that is going to be listed throughout the different content I'm going to access this month. And your action items, food related, go here. Action items regarding lifestyle ideas and more. So classes potentially, or any other things that come up as you're accessing the content this month. So this is a good one to print up and leave next to your computer, on your workspace, wherever, so that you can build your own one-page cheat sheet, because everything disappears at the end of the month. So you have the whole month to access, and at the end of the month, it changes over and it's gone. You register what it is you accessed, and every spring you pull this out and you say, it's springtime, liver, what do I need to do? Oh yeah, I remember I wrote down beets, onions, shallots, whatever. Oh, I remember we talked about going green. Okay, I need to green up my house cleaners. So you'll build your action piece, your action items, your to-do work on this worksheet. Once you've printed them up, we're on the builder's end, but from your end, where it says edit up here, it says mark completed when you're a participant. So when you've printed them up, click on mark completed, because the next time you're going to get into the network, you're going to see that you've already done that module. You can still see it and view it and access it, but at least it helps you be on top of, oh, I've already done that one. I don't need to go in. Good. So those are very important modules to get into. Now, the stuff that I just took you through in the presentation is all in here, so you're able to access this again if you want to go visit some of this again, all those symptoms and everything else. Same thing, you would click on mark completed up there. And this is the main topic. If you have any questions about your network subscription, if you're changing credit cards, if you need to cancel your subscription, this is where you're going to find all of the to-do work and your instructions on it, so you can access that at any time. Then the actual content of the network is split into 3 sections. Pre-recorded content, on demand, streaming services, Netflix, whatever you want to call it, this kind of thing here. Live sessions is the stuff that you're going to be able to access live. And down here, written content. Those are the 3 different types of things. So you got to think first, is it something that is on the calendar that Luca's doing live that I can join live? Then it is going to be under live sessions. Is it something that's there from the first day and I just go back and I access it? Oh, then that's going to be under pre-recorded content. So pre-recorded content is your on-demand television. Live sessions is the streaming, and no, that's not true. Pre-recorded content is your on-demand stuff. Live sessions is like live TV. Do you remember we used to all watch The Cosby Show on Thursday nights at 8 p.m.? Those are your live sessions. It's like The Cosby Show before we found out he was a terrible human. And the pre-recorded is your on-demand stuff. I think you get it. I'm just trying to give you some hints on how to think of it. So let's start with the pre-recorded content. This is your bonus stuff that you're getting each month in addition to the live stuff. So we've got 3 modules you're going to be able to access this month. The first one is a full hour on batch prep cooking. So if you want to hone in on some batch prep methods, this in and of itself is actually, you're going to get your money's worth by joining this subscription. If you only do batch prep, you're getting your money's worth. This is a full 2 months of work on batch prepping that will give you so many tools to really hone in on why batch prepping can be one of those solutions in making real food attainable and doable at dinner hour every day. We've also got a full 3-hour class on the liver. So these are the classes I used to do at the Light Cellar a while back, and I've recorded them and they're now living online. So you get access to it for this month and next. We also have a cooking class. So these are foods that fuel. This is part of a whole scratch cooking class series I used to host. And my daughter and I did it at the start of the pandemic, and we happened to record our sessions. We were doing it for her junior high kids at her junior high, and we recorded them all. So we rotate through them in the network. So it's a bit of a bonus piece for those who may want to get into some scratch cooking. Foods that fuel is a fun one. We're doing curries in the month of June, pardon me. I know, it's a fun class each time. Now our live sessions, these are the ones where it's on the calendar. So these are the ones you can join us live, and the replay for them are also embedded in the module. So for example, these are those Thursday morning sessions. These are the best part of the network, in my opinion. They're all the new stuff that I'm really building week to week. And we've got those 5 sessions this month, and those are your 5 there. And they're about 30 minutes in length every Thursday at 7 a.m. Alberta time. They disappear. So as they're ready, we have the most recent one up top. Your replays are down here. So the one I did yesterday is here already, Liver and Hormones, the Detox Dance. So as soon as you join us, that's maybe where you want to start. And then as they're older, they get bumped down to the bottom, and our latest one is at the top. So all you have to do is just press play and you get to watch it right there in the module. So that's one of our live sessions. The other live sessions that we have is that one standalone 2-hour class, SOS Fatty Liver Disease. So this class by itself is going to be 120 minutes, and these are some of the key goals we'll be getting at, and how to know if this is a class for you. If you're in the network, you can gain access to it. You're also able to take just this class by itself. It's $5 cheaper than the network, if this is all you want to take. So this class is for you if you say yes at least to one, if you've been recently diagnosed with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or if you've been told you have high liver enzymes, if you feel tired, sluggish, or inflamed more often than not, if you are seeing higher cholesterol or blood sugar numbers like HA1C, if they're starting to creep up, if you notice your heart races or your energy crashes after high carb meals. And this is also for those who are curious on how to support the liver without a detox fad. This is the class for you. So we are going to be talking about some good things. If you're in the network, you get access to it for free. It's included in the cost of the subscription. If you want to take just this class, I'll make sure the link for it is underneath where you're watching this video. But the replay is going to be in here once we've run the class. You'll get handouts and recipes and extras in there as well. So those are your 2 live components. Now we've also got some written content. Let me take you through this really briefly. Every month we've got recipes. There's 5 recipes. They are always with the season in mind and for the organ we are supporting. Because it's spring, these are very spring-like recipes, and they're also liver-loving foods. Easy side veg air fryer. So this is a template on how to cook vegetables in your air fryer, because I have clients now asking for these. We've got a whole series of egg recipes. They're part of that scratch cooking class that I have run with Eliza. It's a great, there's like 8 recipes in there. We've got Vietnamese beef build-a-bowl or pork build-a-bowl for those who have histamine issues, so you're able to amend it to a dietary protocol you've got. We're also talking about pumpkin seeds and how great these would be for liver support, and then ending with a really yummy drink of Golden Dandy Mocha. Super supportive to the liver. And for anybody who needs it, we've got low histamine versions as well in most of the recipes. So I want to make sure that everybody who's joining us in the network has a place at our table. So here you would download to your computer and print from your downloads folder, or save them on a folder on your computer so that you can access them when you need them. Those are the recipes. Let's go back down to the written content. We also have a weekly Good Food Challenge we do every week. And so every week there is a new food to feature. And this week the food to feature is brassica. So this is just to give you an idea of why and what kinds of things we do in the network. I used to do these on social media, but it's pointless because it doesn't get seen by anybody. So whatever, this is where it lives now. So your brassica veggies are so good. This was still when we were focusing on our last topic, which was perimenopause and menopause, but it turns out they're really good for the liver as well. So they nourish through perimenopause and menopause for sure. They give you some of these really important nutrients that help detoxification and are antioxidants and really help support the liver and all it is that she does. But in the network, part of what we did, we stretch it a little bit further. So we give you a lot more ideas. So what is a brassica? Well, you're going to find a whole lineup of everything that falls under the umbrella of that family of vegetables that have those compounds we're looking for. So there's so much variety and ways to keep it interesting and nourishing. So we've got 10 easy ideas on how to add some of these brassicas to your meals. So small shifts, big nourishment. This is what I like to do. So for example, on your worksheet, you would be writing brassicas under foods to feature for the liver. And you'd write in there, oh gosh, I forgot that rutabaga and turnips are a part of that. Roasted turnips or rutabagas? Yum. Yeah, that's what you write. So lots of ideas there. And then as they get older, they get bumped to the bottom. Your latest one is always on top. So that's a part of the weekly challenge. We've got one last module I want to take you through. It is eating with the seasons. I really think one of the secrets to keeping well is to eat in tandem with and to what's on your plate should match what's happening outside. When you eat in tandem with the seasons, so much of the biochemistry works better. Eating with the seasons encourages us to eat locally. When we eat locally, that also supports the internal function of our organs and the biochemistry of being human. So what does it mean to eat in spring? Well, there's a video that explains why eating in season is an important piece, but we've got handouts and recipes, and these are going to be available until the end of May. So we've got a whole handout here. I'm going to show it to you right now. So you get a chart. So you can print this, and we're going to switch it up on June 1st. It's going to go to summer. But spring, what are spring foods? So we've got all these foods to focus on for the season of spring. We've got below here superfoods and teas, roots and shoots, herbs and spices as well. On liver supportive foods and the season, why this is important, how to do this, what is the main energy of the season, and might this help us inspire how to move through the season? And then on the final page, we've got 5 ideas of lifestyle ideas that you could implement to support the current season and the organ that we are focusing on. So this can give you more that you might want to add to your worksheet. So you get to build this. There's so many moving parts that you have access to. What you access is what you need. There's more recipes here as well. A recipe bundle, spring recipe bundle. You got carrot and ginger Japanese dressing. You've got a Buddha bowl, which is so yummy. There's a low histamine option in there as well. And then there's a hot chocolate clock elevated for the spring and what this can look like. So come and access these if you want these recipes. They will be part of that Eating with the Seasons module. Again, when you've printed it up, where it says edit on the screen here, in your version, it will say mark completed. Go ahead and click there. So those are the modules. That's everything that is under the moniker of the Good Food Network. Again, under programs, once you log in. For those live sessions, I will tell you that you've got an icon on your home page with upcoming sessions. There's a whole box of these upcoming sessions, and you'll see them listed. Can I show them to you? I can. It's not going to make much sense. Again, you're seeing it from the builder's end. But you will see these different ones. So we've got our orientation call for the network today. So on your end of things, you will see a little camera icon next to upcoming sessions, orientation session. Click on it. And know that it's going to update the times to your particular time zone. So if you're able to join us, it'll tell you exactly what time to join us at. It clocks in with your computer. The last piece I want to show you is this chat function. Yes? Okay, good. You won't see everybody here. I want to make sure you don't see the names of those enrolled because that's privacy. So in the chat function, you'll see it either through a little chat icon like that, or you can also access it through little chat bubble up top. There is a chat function. So use this to your advantage. Every time I drop something new in the network, I put it in the chat. So you've got a running tally. So if you know you haven't clocked in to the network in the last week, then you can drop through and go through all of this content to see what are the pieces I missed. Well, 7 months ago, I've got the schedule and checklist ready. I've printed it up already. Oh, I need to add brassica foods to my worksheet. Okay. Oh, yeah, there was a session on the liver and hormones, the detox dance. Oh, I want to access that replay. Is it ready? It would say under there that it's been done, and it should. I will later. Anyway, these are all the ways to get into the content and to access what it is you might have missed along the way. That is what we do in the Good Food Network. If you have any questions, I'm going to make sure there are 3 links below. The first one is to join us in the network. The second one is for that SOS Fatty Liver class. If the network has too much for you and all you want is that one class, let's simplify it. Let's set you up for just that class. That will be link number 2. And link number 3 will be for a 30-minute call. If you have questions, if you want help in figuring out how to get in, or if this is right for you, you want to have a conversation first, use the link to book in. It's called a discovery call. We'll discover if it's something that would work for you with where you're at and what it is you've got going on. And that's what we're doing in the Good Food Network. We have good fun. There's a lot of fart jokes. We keep it light and airy. And there's too much for you to access. Too bad. I live in a time of abundance and I'm not going to restrain what it is I offer because I've got all these pieces. Do you want them? They're there. It will be simplified at some point. But right now, just take what you need and leave what it is you don't. You can be the caretaker of your own list of to-do. You can be the caretaker of how much you want to take. Yeah, this is part of the work. Thanks for joining me on this Friday morning. I wish you a delightful May ahead, and I hope we get to cross paths. Salut, à bientôt.